Hannah ran home where only her mother resided for as long as Hannah had returned to her home where only her mother resided. For as long as Hannah could remember, she and her mother had lived together in the same house. Although she was overjoyed at the prospect of being with Malt, Hannah worried how her mother would respond to the news. Maybe considering how long they've known each other, her mother wouldn't be too surprised by the news. Hannah began humming a love song that she had heard on the radio countless times. Stepping into the dining room and kitchen, she found her mother poring over the morning newspaper. She announced. Her mother swooped in to embrace her with concern and began firing off questions one after another. After a while, her mother's worried expression lightened, but the next question was clear on her face. Now that the fear had settled, she could feel her purring coming from Hannah's chest. Clearly, something had happened during the night. Hannah meekly recounted the events of her night in the barn to her mother, just like Malt with his grandparents. Hannah had to answer a number of questions, such as what they talked about and whether anything improper happened. Her mother was taken aback. However, when she heard that they vowed to be wed while nestled in the haystack, but Hannah reiterated that nothing untoward occurred. After an uncomfortable conversation with her mother, she sought in the company of her friends. They gathered at the familiar spot, the fountain in the town square. Wapa Charlotte had already found herself in the fountain, only to be rescued by Kyle Bavoros, who was doing his best to dry her off. It was no secret that Wapa had a crush on Kyle, much to his apparent displeasure. However, those who paid close attention could catch him purring whenever he took care of her. Alongside them were Socks Million, a brilliant prodigy and self-proclaimed inventor, and Borin Brioche, a gentle giant with a passion for cooking, and of course, Malt and May had already arrived. The group settled down as Kyle affectionately attended to Wapa, his purr never wavering, while Malt and Hannah prepared to share their exciting news. Malt took a moment to gather his thoughts, but before he could speak, Hannah beat him to it. She exclaimed. Socks replied with a touch of sincerity. After tending to Wapa, who was still slightly damp, but dried off enough, Kyle got up to leave while saying a word. It was no secret that Kyle had long harbored his feelings for Hannah, and even now some lingering emotions remained. Though she concealed her own heartache well, though she concealed her own heartache well, offered her congratulations before chasing after Kyle. The group still couldn't quite understand how the spirited and energetic Wappa Charlotte developed an infatuation with the reserved and standoffish Kyle Baviroyos. Socks had an announcement of his own to make. He got up in front of the rest of the group. He declared, holding up the letter proudly and adjusting his glasses with the other. "Way to go, buddy!" As the day concluded, Malt and Hannah decided to pin letters to their friends across Gasco. Malt wanted to be the one to tell the Mont Blanc twins, but Hannah insisted on sending letters to Brits and Sheena instead. She would inform Jen and the Mont Blanc twins. She would inform Jen and the Mont Blanc twins. They could ask Socks to tell Vanilla in person. They could ask Socks to convince Vanilla to tell Vanilla in person, since he was making a trip to Faro soon anyway. This is because Chick has a crush on me, isn't it? Malt leaned towards Hannah while still holding May's hand, and the two kissed before saying goodbye for the day. Malt couldn't help but feel both anxious and excited as they kissed, wondering what the future held for him and Hannah. He was excited to see where their relationship would go because he knew it was about to change.